Okay, I think that we are good. I want to get my laptop here, and we should be good to go. Hey guys, I have class tonight starting at 7, but I wanted to squeeze in a weekend video just before the weekend got too hectic. So I have my laptop up. We're gonna get into this class. Is so much going on, but we are good. I'm gonna take out this time this weekend and really sort through everything that's happening. March is here. I mean, I'm not even, I'll be honest, y'all, I'm behind. Okay, I am behind. Usually I'm ahead. No, I am behind. I'm behind. So I'm going to use this weekend to get ahead as much as possible. I'm thinking about, okay, Kelly, I'll get to you this weekend. Let me, hold on, let me see my screen. Okay, got it. Okay, awesome. So let's get into this. I need to get off by 6:15 minimum so I can get ready for class tonight. If you are a part of the permissions class, the link was sent out for Zoom, so you should be with that email. So guys, if you're watching, be sure to say something. Don't be rude. Say hello. Kelly, I will get back to you. I'm assuming it's Facebook message, so I'll check that. Hopefully you got the thing sorted out with the Facebook. So let's talk about success. I have been in the past several weeks, I have been studying franchising because with the school. And so I've been talking to a lot of mentors, a lot of people. And tonight I had a call. Ooh, it was a lot. On what it was going to take for certain factors for the business to be either a franchise or for us to invest into other franchises that were similar to our industry and maybe go that route. And we were talking to a franchise consulting team that I have been wanting to work with for forever. And one of the things that he asked me, which was a great question, and that was, when you look at your business and what you've built, the success that it's had, how can you guarantee that that success will work somewhere else? Right? And this is it's like a foundational business question, but sometimes you really don't think, like you're thinking about all this other stuff, but you're not really thinking about like that, And it's funny because this is what I talk to my clients all the time. And I wasn't really asking for myself. And one of the things that you really have to think about in scaling a business, like growing a business, is that sometimes the success you've had is due to a secret sauce. And every great company, every great business is going to have what I like to call your success sauce. Okay. And your success sauce is these mixtures of different things and ingredients that you've added to make that business successful. Right. Sometimes what has made us successful is the area. Right. Let's say, for instance, that area, does not have or did not have the types of things that you brought to that market. And because of your business bringing it to that market, it became successful. And if you take that same success model and place it, let's say, into a larger city where, it didn't have those issues, would you be just as successful, right? Now, these are like great questions. I was going back for like, duh, this is what I talk to my clients about, but I wasn't thinking those things because a lot of times we get so jaded on the success and you have to ask some really valid questions. When you are doing well, you want to know why you are doing well. This is really key. I think a lot of times we're so focused on becoming successful. Why did my Facebook do this again? Hold on. This is so crazy. Hold on, guys. The same thing happened before. Give me a second. My Facebook. What is with my Facebook? Hold on. It always seems to do this. Give me a second, guys. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. I just love how this happens. What is with this? Okay. Welcome to the social media. Okay, great. So we're back. I don't know what happened. Facebook seems to not like me. Which is cool. That's fine. My goal is just to get the content out. So you want to know why you're a success. That's really important. A lot of times, again, we're really big on teaching success. You want to be a great success, but the question is why? What got you to that place of success? What are the factors that made you successful? And then what's going to keep that success going, right? So that's one of the questions. The other questions that you also need to ask yourself is that if factors ever change, will we still be successful? Right? That's another question you have to ask yourself. If and when you look at your industry, you have to know what's coming next. It's not enough to just know your business at this current point. This is why as entrepreneurs, this business, and this is what I tell people all the time, people think that being an entrepreneur is like the it thing. Like it's like the best, like if you're an entrepreneur, like you're it. Right. But truthfully speaking, you really have to know what have you been called to do, because entrepreneurship is one area of calling. It's not where you being an entrepreneur is better than another person, because when you look at what's involved in being an entrepreneur, it is an intense work. Just as if you're working for corporate, you may not be working for someone else, but in a sense, when you become an entrepreneur, you are working for your customers, right? And I think that idea of freedom and, just passive living, it takes a lot of work to get there. It takes a lot of work to get there, to get to that place where, you can just kick your feet up and just enjoy your life. That takes work. And a lot of times you need to have that realistic talk. So like I said before, the very first thing that we're going to assess in your business, and I'm talking about that these are just questions you must ask yourself, is number one, how do we become successful? Right? It's not going to be questions like, well, you know what? We do a great job of helping our customers. Well, that could be that's a very broad factor, but you know the unique factors that make your business successful. Again, we talked about an example such as the area. Did the area contribute to your success? Was there a lack of representation in where you lived and your business solved that problem? For instance, let's say you brought a business into a rural area. Would that same model work in a booming city? Most times, sometimes what works in rural is not going to work in a booming city. Another question you may ask yourself is, did our people, when you look at who you're hiring, okay, does the culture in which we picked our staff, did that contribute? Because different cities have different cultures, right, and have different moral values and systems that have contributed. The educational system, a lot of times you'll find better employees in certain states because they have certain value systems, right? So there are a lot of different things that can contribute to the health of a business or the health of a company, and you have to know why are you successful. A lot of times, again, we've been so much in our business that we never take a step out of our business to look at why were we successful? What did we do to get to this point? You have to learn how to take a step out of what you've been working in so that you can protect the future of your business. Remember, this is not just about running a business, right? A lot of times we're running a business, and because we have not stopped, we no longer have a hold on what exactly it is that we're doing. The other thing is that you have to know what's next. I talked about this. You have to know what's next for your business, because another thing that can happen, and a lot of times people don't realize this, but just because a business is going well does not mean it will be going well forever. Now, you can keep it going well, but you have to be able to prepare your business for changes in, let's say, for instance, labor costs, in let's say increases in minimum wage. A lot of times we see things from from an employee standpoint, but as an entrepreneur, you also have to see things from a business standpoint, right? So let's say, for instance, minimum wage goes up even higher. And let's say, for instance, because you're the entrepreneur, you're the owner, you have to cover those increases, right? And so let's say, for instance, you had built a business model that was based upon when minimum wage was $9, or $10, right? And let's say it changes to $15. Is your business built so that when those increases happen, you can still operate and have healthy cash flow and have a healthy business? These are things we will think about. And sometimes we don't think about these questions because we're just so focused on, oh, I got a business. Oh, I have a business. Well, will you be able to keep that business? Will you be able to help it grow? This is how we make sure that our businesses do not stay stagnant, okay? You got to know what's going on. You got to know if you have employees. This is why having employees, people brag about having people. But the moment you begin hiring people, you have to know that your business has to be able to afford people. People costs. There is insurance. We have health. We have liability. We have property. We have, there's so many things that you have insurance for materials, for electronics, for I mean, there's so many things that can be covered by insurance. Damages. I mean, there's so many things, and that doesn't just include people. That's the building. Let's say you have a brick and mortar, right? So all of these things, I'm not here to overwhelm you, but we have to provide realistic, open-eyed truth so that when you go into business or you're going to scale and expand your business, you're prepared. Right? You're prepared. A lot of times, I'll give for example, someone had asked me in a group, which I thought was a great question, in reference to franchising. He said, well, why haven't you gotten started yet? And I said that, he said, no, he said, what's keeping you back? Right? And for me, I said, nothing is keeping me back. Right? I just need to make sure that everything happens at the right time. For instance, when you're looking to acquire another piece of property for your business, right? And you're currently running a business. So let's say I currently have a location, which is what we have, and let's say we're looking to open another location. We have to have capital to not just maintain the current, but to also have capital to help with the new, right? Which means that at that time, and it depends upon how you have your capital, whether you're getting funding, loaning, you have investors, whatever it is, you have to understand that if I'm looking to scale a company, especially through size and through location, then at the same time, we got to make sure we have enough capital in the bank, okay, to handle current expenses, right? And so, some of the things that we get so obsessed with, oh, I'm going to grow my business, I'm going to do this. Don't get rushed. What is your secret sauce? That's what we're talking about today. What is your secret sauce? You have to know what your secret sauce is. You've got to know what works for you. If I talk to people, say, oh, Genesis, if you talk to new entrepreneurs, what would you tell them? Probably the best thing I could tell them is know who you are. Never start a business. Now, I don't want to say it like this, but this is true. Never start a business without knowing who you are. Because many times we pick businesses based upon how they look on the outside. I would love to get in this kind of business because I'm seeing a whole bunch of people make money from this. Or I would love to get in this kind of industry because I see a whole bunch of people. But if you don't know their secret sauce, you really do not know the factors. See, every company has factors. And, because I've been researching franchising, it's funny because a lot of times the questions in franchising they really apply for being a business owner. For instance, let's say I look at McDonald's and say, oh my God, oh my God, look at that line. Oh my, I would love to own McDonald's, right? And then of course, when you research that, you have to actually have the franchising cost may be low, but then to actually own one, you're looking in the millions to even have. Right? On top of that, there's energy, all this kind of stuff. So you're looking at something from outside. Oh, I would love to own a hair salon. Oh, I see all these people. But then it's like, okay, well, where are you going to place the hair salon? How are you going to get the customers? Right? How are you going to keep customers coming back? What's the growth rate of salons in that area? What is the average price points that they're operating in? Do you know the average amount of employees that they currently hire? What is the skill level? I mean, these are the questions we have to ask ourselves. So a lot of times when I talk to entrepreneurs, one of the things I tell them is know what you're good at. If you're good at management, you may not be good at food, but you may be good at management. Right? You may be good at, seeing concepts and turning them into reality. You know how to build things and put things together. Maybe you are good at design, but you're not good at consulting. I remember one person once told me, they're like, every graphic designer should become a consultant. And I said, no, that's not what we do. Because you could be good at creating something, but you may not be good at teaching somebody how to take a design and break it down. Those are two different things. And you don't want to force yourself to become somebody that you're not. Because a great business owner does not play with their weaknesses. I was talking to a beautiful woman on the phone last night, and I told her, I said, a great business owner does not play with their weaknesses. This is big. We're taught, you know what? whatever you're not good at, work on that. Make yourself better. No, we don't do that. No, we don't. If I know that I'm somebody that's not good at something, I'm not going to put all of my time into making myself better at that one area. Now, when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about things like, let's say, for instance, you eat too much food and you're getting overweight. You need to lose weight, right? You need to stop eating all that food. We're not talking about that. We're talking about skill sets that contribute to your actual growth as a business owner, right? Know what you're good at. And sometimes what you started out doing will not be what actually you're good at doing. Sometimes we really have not yet fully understood. Let me get Instagram up. Sometimes we have not fully understood our strengths, right? And sometimes that takes time to really understand what you do. Okay. And that's why sometimes, it's good to test some things. It's good to play around with some things. But again, we want to make sure, I like what Kelly, because I love what Kelly says. She says, invest in your weaknesses, buy your strengths. Right? Work on those things, but you have to know that if that's not what I'm good at, that is not what I'm doing. Right? And that's why delegation hiring is the best thing to do in those areas, because it will keep you placing all of your energy on what makes sense. So let's get back to this, because I want to make sure you guys get some applicable action steps with this. You have to know, what is my secret sauce? What makes you good at what you do? You got to know this. What makes you good at what you do? A lot of times we say, well, because I'm passionate. No, that's not what we're talking. We're not talking about emotional supports in this. What actually makes you good at what you do? As a company, as a business owner, what makes you good? What is your secret sauce? You got to know that. And that's something you should probably sit down, definitely sit down and figure out what your secret sauce is, right? Because you can use that as a centering structure for as you grow. This will also keep you in line when it comes to opportunities. Everybody wants to give you an opportunity. Oh man, I would love to tell you about an opportunity. Oh, I have a great opportunity that I think will be perfect for you and what you do. But then if I know what my secret sauce is, and I say to myself, well, you know what? It doesn't align with my secret sauce. I'm not going to take that opportunity. Or, yes, this aligns with my secret sauce. I'm going to take that opportunity. You have to know what your secret sauce is, because this is going to keep you in line with who you are as a company. Many times companies lose who they are, and it's because they forgot their secret sauce. We saw this with IHOP, which became IHOB, which now needs to be changed back to IHOP, right? So IHOP, they forgot. Sometimes in desperation, you'll find yourself trying to change your company because you're trying to grab customers really quick. Let's say you're losing your secret sauce, because you can also lose it, right? You can lose your secret sauce. And sometimes we see companies, they're scrambling to get customers. And so they change a lot of things. They'll change their branding. They'll change the look, all these things, because they're in desperate need to get money, to get that flow back to where it needs to be. But because they lose what made them amazing in the first place, they actually end up losing more than what they even had at the start. Right? So this is why when we look at being great entrepreneurs, being people who love to change the world, it is going to take a lot of work, but you have to know your secret sauce. You have to know what makes you special in this business world. The other thing is, as an entrepreneur, this is something I highly would suggest to a lot of entrepreneurs, is start looking at what your end goal is. We have a secret sauce for a reason, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs, I'm noticing they are so in the business, because that's what we have to do, that they forget to take a step back and figure out, where is this going, right? Now for me, I always have a rule. When you're in business, you should have at least 3 goals in business. Either you're going to sell it, okay? You're going to sell it with an exit plan. You got an exit strategy in place usually. So you're going to sell it, okay? You're going to keep it. You're going to keep it, and hopefully you have a succession plan to let that continue, okay? And then there's the third one. You're going to quit. Now, we're never going to do that third one. We're never going to do that third one, okay? We're never going to do that third one. But usually, an entrepreneur, we're going to look at either being bought out, or we're going to look at, of course, keeping the business, okay, and continuing. But know that times will change, and you have to be adaptable. You have to have backup plans. You gotta have backup plans. You gotta have backup plans for if things go left or right. What is the end goal? You have to know that. I know for me, for the family business, one of our main goals is that we're looking to grow this company to then break it into a franchise model. It's something that's always been on the board, and we're getting close to our goal. And so we're preparing for those things. But guess what? That actually keeps me focused because I know where we're going. And so when certain opportunities come across, I'm not going to take them. But then the other thing is you have to learn how to diversify your business money. That's really big. You have to learn how to diversify your business's money. Sometimes, depending upon how your business grows, you could be capping your company already. In other words, with the way that you grow, the style of your business model, there may be a capping point. How do you keep money coming in with a capping point? Well, this is where diversification in what your business offers or extensions of your company can come into play. There are several businesses or groups or corporations where they may have started with one company as like the center, the whole steadfast business. And then after time, as our business begins to grow and acquire more and more funding or more and more capital, more and more money, they'll then take that money and start investing into other businesses, buying other businesses, or starting a side business within that company. So there's so many different possibilities that you can really begin thinking about, but start thinking about them. That's important. Start thinking about how your company will continuously grow. This is why you have to take out time to think. You got to take out time to think. A lot of people don't think about their business. They think about their business in the sense of, okay, I got to get this work done. I got this to do. I got that to do. I got this to do. I got that to do. But then you have to realize, what is all of this work for? Where is it going? Where's all this money going? What am I going to do with it? Not just do with it for my personal use as salary, but what am I going to do with it as far as where are we going as a company? Where are we going to be in 5 years? Are we adapting to the world that we live in these 5 years? Is our company staying at the edge of innovation or at the edge, of our marketplace to understand how customer competency, how are customers thinking how are they going to be thinking in 5 years? How do they shop? How do they talk? How do they figure out how they buy their next product or service? What are the most popular search engines that people are using to find my type of business, right? What kind of marketing techniques are coming into the marketplace that are transforming how my business can be discovered? These are things that you have to do where you take your step out of the business, and then you begin looking at the future. So don't just run your business. Take a step away to think on, where are we going? Why are we doing all of this work? What is it for? So again, at the end of really with this video, I really want you to figure out, what is your secret sauce? What makes you unique? When you're starting a business, a company, whatever you want to call it, a brand, it's going to be a lot of work. And before you do any type of major work, you should know what is included in the growth. What is included in this business? What is it that I'm going to have to put in? What does that look like? You won't be able to get a definite picture. You won't get a full picture, but you should have a wide enough and a big enough picture to understand what comes with every business decision that you're making. And remember, we're not in business to make what we've made already. We're in business to live a life that we truly desire. And in order to have the life that you truly desire, you've got to have a big idea and a big plan. It doesn't have to be huge. No one said you have to have a Walmart plan, a behemoth side type of level of a plan. But you should know that if I'm going to be putting in all of these hours in the night, in the morning, in the daytime, on my phone, on my laptop, doing this, doing that. If I'm going to be putting all this money into marketing, if I'm going to be putting my life savings into this, then let me make sure, right? Let me make sure that I am fully invested in not just my money, not just my ideas, but in the end result. Let me have something to shoot for, right? And let me be someone who's preparing myself for what's next. Don't be that person that is always in the moment. Always be that person that's not just in the moment, but someone who's also looking at the future and is preparing themselves for that future. So these are just things I just want you to think about. I want you to always, for me, weekends are my time where I dream and I think and I envision, right? It's that time where I've worked throughout the week, right? In the business, in the family business, in my personal business, in the family ministry, because my parents are pastors, so it's what I'm at in. And I have to take out time for the weekend to think about, what is it that I am missing? Are there any gaps? What are things that I need to learn or read about or listen to? What is it that I need to focus on? And I'm not in my business on the weekends. I'm not working. No, on the weekends, that's when I'm looking at my dreams, my goals. That's when I'm reading magazines, watching videos on YouTube. I'm bringing in information so that when I go into the following week, right, there's more that has made me as a business owner, as a businesswoman, than there was the previous week. You should be constantly improving your knowledge in your business, in your market, in your industry. And as I leave you, remember this, and I talk about innovation a lot. We talked about it when I was in Atlanta, but don't just read about your industry, okay? Read about industries that are innovative. Figure out what made them innovative, because a lot of times you're not going to be doing what they do because they're in a different market. But it's important to understand thinking process. This is really big. A lot of times I meet so many entrepreneurs and they have not improved their thinking process, how they actually think about their company, how they actually think about the next steps, how they actually think about the world in general. So many times we're not aware of what's happening in other countries or other arenas or industries. And that actually leaves us vulnerable. It actually leaves you vulnerable as a business owner because you are not seeing the world as it is. You're only focusing on what's happening in your immediate city, what's happening among your friends and their businesses. That's not big enough. Widen your mindset. Some of you could pick up marketing ideas that someone in a hair care industry did, and you're over here repairing cars. You have to begin to look. One of the things I highly suggest, and I believe, are they in here? Maybe not. Maybe so. Hold on, guys. It's in here. I want to show you guys something. Give me a second. Want to show you guys something, and I believe it's in here. Let's just pray it's in here. Yep, it is. It is. It is. Hey guys, give me a second. Just want to show you guys something. Ooh. Okay. So one of the things that I do is I keep all previous magazines. So I buy, then there's more on this, but these are the ones that I'm recently rereading. So there are magazines, of course. There's the online platform. I like physical, so it's a little expensive sometimes because I buy a lot. Like you can buy hundreds of dollars worth of magazines when you get done. They stack up. But these are the ones from fall of 2018. Okay, so we already know it's already 2019, right? But these two magazines I really love. This was fall. This is November 2018 of Fast Company. This one was the Harvard Business Review. I love Harvard Business Review. You need to read. I think I took it out my purse. I don't think it's in my purse anymore. I think I took it out. Yeah, it's not in here. Harvard Business Review did I want to say this was the winter of 2018. It was on the brain science of business. It was, the articles were so phenomenal. Oh, they were great. There were articles talking about hiring people with certain brain handicaps that were well skilled in other areas. Like let's say, for instance, you're autistic. They talked about hiring people who were autistic in terms of reasons on how their brains thought in such alternative ways that it increased the output of certain industries because of how an autistic person saw something completely different than somebody else, right? And there's so many studies on the fact that people who are usually inhibited in one area are extremely strong in another. So what they began to talk about was, well, if we can not focus on what they're not good at, but instead figure out what they're really strong at, focus on those strengths and use that to increase our business from their output, then we're going to have phenomenal different ways of looking at the same problem, right? So it was an article like that. Just me reading that article was amazing, because as an entrepreneur, that's really the idea of innovation, right? Innovation is when we layer experiences on top of each other to expand a core idea or a belief system, right? So entrepreneur is a good one. Fast Company. I love Harvard Business Review. I'm telling you, I'm like a geek. When I sit down, I'm like, oh, this is good. For me, I highlight a lot. So not this one, but there's another one where I was highlighting almost every page. When I was in high school, my English teacher always told me, Genesis, listen, okay, you can't highlight every other word. I was like, but it's so good. So Fast Company, Harvard Business Review. But thing about this too is things like oh my God, Wired. Wired is another great magazine to read. I love Wired. You definitely want to read tech magazines. If you are an entrepreneur and you're not mixing tech with your business, especially if you're not already a tech company, you need to read about tech. I was in a conversation with a man, a very attractive man, God bless his heart, and he was talking about logistics with trains. He's in the train industry, and Inc. magazine. Oh my God, there's like a whole list. And he was talking to me about the logistics of trains. And to me, it was such a wonderful conversation because I learned so much on logistics. And I'm in the education business. So we don't focus a lot on, logistics and, things like, moving parcels and packages. But what it did make me think about, was this is how they're moving products and services, right? Okay. What kind of thinking goes into how to get a package? Like, FedEx has is it FedEx? Yeah, FedEx. They have an immaculate logistics system. I mean, it is almost bar none, FedEx. And the ability for them to get, or of course with Amazon as well, the ability on how, when they chose their warehouse, their core warehouses, they chose them in the middle of the country in a way to where it is the most beneficial location in America, right? When they picked where their core logistics systems will be to fly out planes, right? And you think about what kind of mind. This is why, as an entrepreneur, you gotta elevate the way you think. What kind of mind could even think? Okay, like in order for us to do this, we have to do this, and for us to do this, we have to do that, right? So by reading about other industries, and what you're reading for is the mind. Is the imagination. What were they thinking to do that? What kind of questions did they ask? And you guys know I've taught on innovation, right? Innovation, one of the biggest things that an innovator can do is ask what other people will not ask, right? Why can't that happen? Why does it take so long for this to be heated up at this time? Why do children have to put their coats on this way? And and I'm just making things up, but these are the questions that innovators ask. So when you read a magazine, and again, I have others sitting over here, Inc. and Kelly mentioned one that's one of my favorites too. Inc. Inc. is awesome. Inc. Entrepreneur, and Fast Company are my top three as an entrepreneur. And then, of course, there are some other ones as well. One of the things I will say is that a lot of times a magazine will do a special, and it's not a magazine, it's more of like a list. So like, for instance, this is Entrepreneurs Startups magazine. And it's not really a magazine. So it's where like the first, let's say, 40 pages are articles, and then the rest of it is an actual list of magazines. And for this one, I have bought this one because there's a franchise section. And I'm really big on the franchise. So I bought this one just for the sole purpose of the fact that I wanted to go through franchise, understanding what their units, costs, financing, qualifications, because I'm thinking about, again, if I want to become one, I want to see, okay, well, what are others doing? And because I'm in the education sector, I want to see what my competition is, because if someone's going to buy into the franchise, right, then I want to know, well, then what's the buying cost for other ones? I want to research them. So I like this one because it's divided out by actual categories and services. So this is why I bought this one. So sometimes the magazines are not like a a phone magazine like this one, it will actually have a particular focus where it's like a listing, right? So just make sure you always flip, through them before you buy them, okay? But guys, hopefully this helped you just to get some ideas and thoughts. Again, the biggest thing is number one, identify your secret sauce. What makes you who you are as a company? Why did you become successful? What has gotten you to this point? You may say, well, I'm not like a huge success yet. Okay, well, what has gotten you though to where you are? What factors contributed to that? The second thing is you want to make sure that as you grow your business, that you're asking questions, right? What are we going to need next? What's going to keep us as an innovative company or business structure? What will contribute to our growth plan? A lot of times we say, oh, if I just had more capital. But more money does not mean that you'll become more successful, right? There are many people who've had a lot of capital and have wasted it away. So it's not just about having more money, okay? It's about having better ideas, okay? It's not about more money. It's about having better ideas. You can get people to buy into a good idea. So it's not even about you having your own capital. It's about having good ideas that can be executed and implemented at the right time. This is why, again, as we end it on, and we're almost done, is the fact that you want to read. You also want to listen to podcasts. If you're not a reader, be a podcaster where, it's in your ear. For me, I love YouTube. I'm a huge YouTuber. I love YouTube. So I've been listening to franchise videos almost like every day. So like today I listened to, what makes a good franchise. I was listening today on what contributes to Subway and their success, what's contributed to McDonald's and their success. So I was listening to it as I was eating food. I had it in my ears. And as I'm eating, I'm listening. And you may say, well, this is not healthy. Well, for me, I have no kids and I'm not married. So there's not too much people I talk to in the evenings, So I just have my earphones in. So those are great ways to do it. Also watch documentaries. There are documentaries on Netflix, on Amazon, on YouTube about different companies, what made them who they are. There are movies, okay, that sometimes are not as truthfully based, but they have good concepts and you can watch them. My two favorites are Joy and The Founder. Okay, those are my two favorite entrepreneurship movies, Joy and The Founder. They're recent ones, and they're not too old, but I like them because it helps me to get my hustle back in many ways. And then last but not least, always make sure that you're keeping yourself around people who think higher, right? They don't have to be like you, but be around people who challenge you, who ask the questions. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get offended when people ask us questions. But if you don't have friends who ask questions, right, then you're around the wrong people. Do most podcasts cost? No, most podcasts are free. And if you just go to iTunes or Google Podcasts, type in business, and there'll be several ones that pop up. There are tons of great podcasts that are in top 10 that you can listen to. There are also podcasts that will be regarding your industry. I'm telling you, never know. So just type in your industry, just type in business or entrepreneur. And when you type that into Google Podcasts or into iTunes, you'll be able to listen and tune in. Anchor is a platform that's for podcasters, but also is a great place to search for podcasts as well. Stitcher, there's so many different ones, but most podcasts are free for you to listen to. Okay. If you want to host a podcast, Anchor is a free platform, but to listen to them is completely free. But yeah, be around people who question you. I'm a friend that questions people. Some people have gotten offended, but I don't really care. So I'll say, well, why? Why would you want to listen like that? They're like, well, because I should. Okay, Podbean is one. Okay, the Hey Art uses. Okay, I like that Podbean. Write that one down. Right. So you need to have friends who question, because not question out of doubt, but question out of helping you to defend your passion. You have to learn how to defend who you are as an entrepreneur. And if people cannot question you, you'll never really have a sure footing as an entrepreneur because you won't be able to have good replies. If I asked you, why should your business exist? Right? Why should your, I see $500, why should yours be in existence? Why should I give you my money? All right. Some people get stuff, they could never ask me that question. But if I was a friend asking that question, well, it doesn't really matter as long as you support me. Well, no. Your support, my support for your business is not guaranteed. Matter of fact, you should not expect anything from anyone. Okay. If anything, you have to work for people's support. You have to work for their dollar. You have to put them in a position to where they want to support you. So why should I, even as a friend, why should I buy your soap versus somebody else's soap? Why should I buy your cars versus somebody else's cars, right? And these are the things that we have to be willing to go over, practice. That's why, again, I have things coming up on sales that are going to be so key. So guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I have a class to teach at 7 p.m. If you are enrolled into the Permission Life class group coaching experience that's tonight at 7, check your email. It did go out already, the Zoom link. Guys, I will see you next week. Let me give you the final announcements before I go. The biggest thing is that we start off the money mind on Monday. If you have not invested into this, I highly suggest you do. I am going to be doing a video about this tomorrow because, we're closing the doors. The money mind is phenomenal. This class is for this. It's a 4-week coaching intensive. Okay. And in my opinion, when you look at what you have, right, as far as your mind, right, this is not for everybody because not everybody is there. But like I told my tribe, when I was talking to people who even were enrolling into this class, we only have a few seats left. One thing you have to realize is that some of you love to teach people how to do what you've done. You love to give advice. You love to help people, get their start and, and doing what you've done. And so you have a mind filled with knowledge, and knowledge is not cheap. Right? To me, knowledge is the most expensive thing a person could ever purchase. Knowledge is not cheap. Okay. Knowledge should not just be thrown out. Okay. Wisdom is expensive. And one of the things that we're seeing in this day and age is that e-learning, online learning, coursework, it's becoming the thing. It already is a thing, matter of fact. It's not becoming, it already is. And so a lot of you have money literally sitting right now in your mind. I mean, it's just sitting there. It's collecting dust. And you may think, well, I don't have a large grouping or tribe to sell my knowledge to. I don't have a lot of people, to teach. But like I've done with running the numbers through some of my posts, Facebook posts, I'm trying to show you guys that you don't need a lot of people to start a business using your mind. If we just simply, like I did the analogy today, if we did 20 people, let's say you got 20 people, just 20 people, and you sold them a class, okay, for $150, okay, and let's say the class was, let's say just 2 weeks. I mean, I did 4, but let's say it was just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and it was an hour per week. That's 2 hours. And because it's a group class, right, everybody's learning at the same time. You don't have to do individual classes. Everyone's learning at the same time. So if I did 20 people at $150, that will be $3,000, listen to me, $3,000 made in 2 hours. Now, for some of you, that is how much you make in, let's say, a whole month, or let's say in one paycheck, right? And well, let's say it's either you're going to make it a one paycheck, or you're going to make it over a course of a whole month, right? And of course, usually, a lot of people that get paid, bi-monthly, it depends upon whatever your schedule. Some people every 2 weeks, which is bi-month, which is going to be, of course, bi-weekly. And so, but it depends. Some people I get paid on 15th and 31st. I get paid every 2 weeks, whatever those days are, right? But the point is that you have literally knowledge sitting in that brain. And what the money mind does, and this is what we're doing over the course of 4 weeks, I'm going to teach you how to build a brand all based upon the knowledge that you have in that mind. We have some people who are going to be starting, platforms on how to teach people on food, how to teach people in education, or on how to obtain certain degrees and certifications. We have people who will be teaching classes on how to increase as monetarily as a creative. We have people who are going to be teaching classes, and these are not just classes, but really you're building an entire brand off of your mind. And I'm teaching on how to do it in a passive way, in a way where you put forth limited energy, but you have uncapped potential. Because in this type of business, all you're doing is putting forth minimal energy. And once you do it once, you can keep on selling these things. On top of that, I'm also going to teach you on how to create passive knowledge-based materials that you can sell ongoing without putting any energy live. You don't always have to do live trainings. You can do online courses where you create them once and they keep on selling. We call those evergreen courses, right? They keep on going on and on and on. So we only have a few seats left. I've been really blessed because God is so dope. And I've been able to connect with a lot of people who are ready to take their knowledge and monetize it. This world, I'm telling you, it is so ever growing with people who are looking to learn from others. People who've already been in these positions. I worked with a top executive for Nestle who still is one of their HR executives. And she was able to take her knowledge and she launched a whole entire platform teaching women on how to rise up in corporate, how to manage their interviews, how to negotiate their contracts, right? These things are so important. So in these 4 weeks, we're gonna do everything from we're gonna get your branding together. We're gonna get your website platform together. We're gonna get your first product together. So when you come out of these 4 weeks, when you get done, you will already have a product to sell because we're going to start in the very first week getting that product mapped out. This is so key, so key. So what is it? It's 4 weeks. We meet every Monday night. We start this Monday. Okay, we're going to meet this Monday. We meet every Monday. If you can't make the classes, you get the replay. The replay is going to be put into an online course portal. So you'll get that, plus you'll get the homework assignments. And every week we meet. It is an intensive. So what this means is that if you miss, let's say you weren't able to make it that Monday, right? You still got to do the work because when we come back the next Monday, I'm expecting that anyone who takes this intensive, you're going to be ready for the next class. Even if you miss the class, you should still catch up to the work. So again, the investment is $497. You may say, "Oh my God, this is a lot of money." No, it's not. It's not at all, because I'm going to teach you how to make your money back within 30 days. Now that's not a guarantee, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. Now, if you don't do it, that's on you, okay? But just like I said before, if you just got 20 people and you put the price point at 150, not only did you make what you paid me, but you're going to have more left over. Now, of course, I'm going to teach you how to gather the people. Some of you already have. I'm working with people in corporate who already have the experience on how to gather people. But this time we're going to flip it to, instead of it being the company you work for or your own business, it's going to be your own personal brand that's teaching people how to do what you already do. There are people who ask you all the time questions, ask you all the time, hey, how were you able to build this? How are you able to do this? You can monetize that. And then on top of that, add the consulting side to it. At that point, you're unstoppable, okay? Coaching side that's passively built with consulting on top. Whenever you have time to consult for the thousands of dollars that you're worth, you've already built a side business that will continue to help you flourish. So if you're someone who is ready, again, I'm going to be doing a video especially on this tomorrow, but if you're someone who's ready, I want you to do this. Go to my website and you're going to see right there on the homepage, if you scroll down, there's something that says the Money Mind. It's going to be green all over. Click that button, or you can just go to genesisdorsey.com/money. I think that's really easy to remember. genesisdorsey.com/money. I'm also going to be posting it this weekend. So look into it. See if that's something you want to invest in. You're going to make your money back if you take the class seriously. So guys, again, genesisdorsey.com/money. Guys, I will see you later. I have a class to teach at 7. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any questions, be sure to inbox me. Again, if I've missed your messages, I will be getting back to you this weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll see you later. Bye, Instagram. I will see you later. This video will be on YouTube, okay? So I'm going to let them go. Bye, Facebook. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, bye-bye. And bye, YouTube. I'll see you guys later. The winner of the tripod, which is back there, will be announced tomorrow. So stay